Yes. So, about the course, it would be a 5 day course, where today we would be discussing mainly on what is a block budget, basic terminologies we'll cover, and I'll give you an Excel sheet which would be shared with you after the course, but it would be a block budget of a 2 BHK interior project. We'll see how it is calculated, and a few terminologies and basic things would be discussed today. And if time permits, we would discuss a couple of items like masonry and internal plaster. Tomorrow, we'll be discussing other work items like flooring, wall tiling, sills and jambs, doors and windows. The day after that, we would be discussing, one day would be given for electrical and plumbing. One day would be given for two furniture items, which is wardrobe and double bed. And then one day for the other items, which would be remaining within the for the total takeoff. So we would be mainly discussing on how the item quantities are calculated. Secondly, for some items, we'll also discuss the rate analysis aspect. So on how the item rate is derived. Not for all items, for some of the items, we'll discuss that. And also, apart from that, how material quantities are calculated. Again, for not all items, for certain items, we'll discuss that. So that's about the course. About me, my name is Shaunak Dabadgaon. I am a civil engineer. I have a working experience of about 9 plus years, and out of which around 5 years I've spent in Dubai in execution, out of which maybe around 2 years I've spent in interior and fit out projects. Um, the rest 3 years I've spent in India in estimation. So our company BOQ Solutions, it we provide services as well. The services are not actually we take services for clients outside India, but we earlier used to take services for Indian clients as well. Uh, we started with taking up courses from around maybe more than a year now. We have different courses, like this is one for 2 BHK interiors costing. We have one more called as rate analysis marathon. There is one more called as bungalow estimation. There's one more for furniture costing. Lots of courses we take. So the group which is there will always be there. Probably after a couple of months, we'll merge that group with a different group which has already taken interior costing project. And you can ask us questions related to estimation or related to rates, whatever you get questions in the group. Whenever we get time, we'll reply back to you. And it's not like that it would be just me or somebody from our team who would be answering. Uh, let's assume someone else has the answer to that. Feel free to put it in the group. Okay. So we'll get started. Just before getting started, I what I would like to know is if you could tell me, if you're an interior designer, if you're an architect who's taking turnkey jobs, if you're an contractor, if you're a civil engineer, could you just tell me with your work experience and your city? So I'll just give you an example. So suppose I am a civil engineer, maybe a contractor, could be anything, huh? Or you're working with a architect. So I'll just put civil engineer. I have maybe 9 plus years of experience, and I am from Pune. So can you guys just send that to me? So I'll just get an idea of uh, who all are there, and I can give you examples as per that. Oh, great. We have a civil engineer, we have a developer. Very nice. Okay. So lots of civil engineers this time. A lot of times, yes, nice interior designers. Okay, hi. Oh, nice interior designer. Yeah, a lot of times we get a lot of interior designers. Oh, nice. We've. Oh, okay. Great. Very nice. Wow, nice. So lots of civil engineers and interior designers in the course. That's very nice. I'll try to give you examples as per that. If in case if there's someone who doesn't understand anything, so I think there's a lot of mix group, people with 2 years of experience to 15 years of experience, probably some freshers as well. So I'll try is uh, I'll have to make sure. So I'll make sure that each and every one of you uh, gains a lot of knowledge after the end of the course. So I'll make sure that happens. Some of the terminologies you might already be knowing. So for those who have maybe 8, 10, 15 years of experience, but I'll try to uh, make it as simple as possible for those who are freshers or having 1 or 2 years of experience. And for those who are very much experienced, trust me, there will be some things which will be very, very interesting for you guys as well. So we'll go ahead with the uh, course. If anything, if there's any questions or anything, feel free to put it in the WhatsApp group as well. So we would be joined by Mr. Indrajit Malve, who is someone who has around 20 years of experience. Um, so he would be joined probably on the fifth day or the fourth day. I'll let you know in advance. So you can put any questions, any doubts related to if you have anything, maybe you're facing any problems or anything, you can put it in the WhatsApp group. It would be great to get his perspective on it as well. And if you don't understand anything with respect to what I'm talking, I would be telling you, just let me know here that you need to go slow, or please explain this again. So I'll just make sure that it's explained perfectly. Okay, we've got this. Okay. So, difference between quotation, BOQ, and estimate. Anybody knows what a BOQ is? Obviously, those who have, I believe, those who have experience must be knowing. But can you tell me the difference between what a quotation would be and what an estimate would be? BOQ, I believe everybody knows BOQ and BOM. But anybody knows what a difference between a quotation and an estimate would be? Any random answer, even if you go wrong, that's not a problem. Huh? You're going to learn a lot of things, so feel free to take a guess as well. And let it be a conversation. Mm, yeah, okay. Quotation is final price, estimate is approx. Fine, we can say that. Right. BOQ is bill of quantities, right? Offer by vendor is quotation is also, I won't say that's wrong, but okay. But let's assume I'm an interior designer. Okay, let's talk from an interior designer's perspective now, or a renovation contractor, whoever. So when I am, let's assume I'm going to give you an example. So let's assume I have a client wherein the payment to the subcontractors or all the vendors will be done directly by the client to the subcontractor or vendor. This is first scenario. Second scenario is the client is going to pay to me, and then I am going to pay to I am going to appoint the subcontractor, or I am going to finalize the vendors. So in this scenario, the document, the costing document which I give to the client will be a quotation, because that would be a final document. Both the documents, if you see, I'll give you an example of both. Both the documents are same. It's just that your terminology is changing depending on the type of contract you're executing. So in the first scenario, let's assume the client says, "Nahi, I will be directly, you just certify the invoice and I will be paying to the subcon or the vendors, that will be fine." Maybe some interior designers or some contractors might feel that that's a better thing to do. So I know a lot of interior designers who prefer taking projects on a consultation basis. So when I'm taking project on a consultation basis, I will be giving an estimate and not a quotation. If I am taking a turnkey job wherein I am the payment would be from the client to me, like I will be submitting an invoice, and then once I get the payment, I will be paying my subcons and vendors. If this is the process, which would be a turnkey contract, then in that case, the document, cost document, which I would be submitting to the client is a quotation. If it's on a consultancy basis, then I don't submit a quotation, then I submit an estimate. Quotation will be a final contract document. Estimate will be, you can say it is approximate, but still has to be accurate, because at the end of the day, or if you go wrong with your estimate, your client is the one who has to bear it. Quotation may, if you go wrong, let's assume you submit a quotation with your quantities and rates and you've gone wrong somewhere, then it is you who has to bear the loss if you've gone wrong there. In case of an estimate, because your client is directly going to pay to the vendor or the consultant, or who vendor or the subcon, whoever it is. Is it clear? Quotation and estimate. So if I have to just like define it, it would be it both are same. The if you see the if I'll show you the documents, both documents are same. It is description, quantity, unit, rate, cost, everything is same. Just the document title changes as per depending on the contract type. So if it's a consultant, he will submit a estimate. He won't submit a quotation. If it's a turnkey contractor or a turnkey interior designer, then he would be submitting a quotation in that case. Then that's not an estimate. Yeah, is it clear? Or should I explain it again? Or should I show you an example? Yes, okay, great. Yes, I'll show you an example. So this example is of this is an actual BOQ, okay, of a general contractor. Okay, so that's why it's looking so complicated, but I'll also show you a simple one later on. But here in this case, uh, so in this case, if you see, you have the item, you have the description, unit, quantity, unit rate, total price, and this is a BOQ actually, which is bill of quantities. But this is, you can also call this a quotation, but because this is a general contractor who had submitted it, that's why this was handwritten and hand filled, and the specifications are so in depth. Uh, if you're doing a normal interiors job, it's not necessary so to go so in depth. We'll go to that later on. I'll also give you a library where you'll get a lot of work items defined and the item rates defined. So we'll discuss that later. But this is a BOQ, bill of quantities. Here, whatever is quoted uh, will be, this is a contract document, okay? A quotation is a contract document. So whatever is filled here is final, cannot be changed unless and until there are specification changes or client says, no, just revise this. In that scenario, whatever changes are there can be made in that quotation or that BOQ, or a change order can be submitted. But otherwise, whatever is quoted is final. When do I do this? Now, this particular example I have is of a general contractor. If I'm talking about uh, a normal interior designer who's taking a turnkey job, in that context, I will be, this won't be hand-filled first of all, it and the language will be very simple. But in that scenario, whatever quantities I'm putting and whatever rates I'm putting will be final. And the once I submit an invoice, let's assume my quotation is finalized. Once I submit an invoice, the client will pay me and I would be paying the my vendors, my subcontractors. That's how the payment would be there. Some cases it would be um, hybrid. For example, tiling. sometimes the client might say that no, tile I'll purchase on my own, or whatever, or light fittings I want to take on my own. So in some cases it could be hybrid, but this particular methodology of working where I am taking a turnkey job, turnkey is full, everything I will execute. I will design for interior designers, and then I will execute it. I will get the material, I will get my subcon, I will get the vendors. So that becomes, in that scenario, I'm submitting a quotation to my client. That quotation will have everything like this. Now, this is a very detailed quotation. You know, need not worry. This is just, I'm showing you a very difficult quotation so that whatever we are going to work on will be fairly simple. Okay, I hope it is clear now. If it's still not clear, no problem. After 9 p.m., if it's not clear to anybody, I'll explain it later again. Okay, but have most of you at least understood the difference between quotation and estimate? Estimate मतलब consultant अगर होगा ना, he is going to give an estimate. He is not going to give you a quotation. अगर मैं turnkey contractor या turnkey interior designer हूंगा ना, तो मैं quotation देता हूँ. Whatever you mentioned, vendor जो देगा, that's also a quotation. That's also right. Nothing wrong with that. But in what we are learning right now, in that uh, I was asking, that's what a quotation is and what an estimate is. Okay, sure. I'll just move to the next topic. I hope this is clear to most of you. Okay, great. Okay, thank you. Okay, anybody has any idea what a block budget is and what a detailed estimate? No need to read it, but any idea what block budget is? Just tell me yes or no, so that I have an idea of how detailed I have to explain it. Okay, fine, great. So again, now see, I'm going to. I know there's a few developers and I think civil engineers. Uh, but I'm going to talk from an interior designer's perspective at the moment, okay? Because it will cover everything then. Now let's assume I'm an interior designer. Uh, I meet a client and he tells me that I want to do this, I want to do that. I have a 2 BHK. I want to do the painting, the false ceiling, electrical plumbing works for the toilet. I want to set up the furniture. All these things I want to make sure have to be done. Now, right away, but the client will obviously ask you, what would it cost? Now, in that case, you need to give an approximate cost to the client, but it shouldn't be haywire. कि कुछ भी बता दिया कि सर पकड़ लीजिए 15 lakhs. You should have some base to that calculation. There has to be um, some thumb rules to those calculations. So when you use thumb rules and give a cost, okay, approximate cost would be sir 18 lakhs or 20 lakhs, then that becomes a block budget. That is not accurate, but that is approximate. And then the client would probably say, okay, ठीक है, let's go ahead with this. Uh, we'll start with the works. You send us the design. Then you'll probably make a design, detailed design would be made and sent to the client. Then it's approved. So first, if this is my project timeline, this is where I meet the client and this is where I hand over the project. So first, I'm going to give a block budget. Second, I'm going to make designs. So I have the drawings first thing, and second, specifications also with me here at this stage. Specifications मतलब टाइल कौन सी है, पेंट प्लास्टिक इमल्शन है, ओबीडी है, लैमिनेट लगाना है फर्नीचर पे, या और कुछ लगाना है. सो हियर एवरीथिंग दैट इज फाइनलाइज्ड. देन इज द stage when I prepare a detailed estimate. So detailed estimate is something I will do after uh, the drawings are finalized by the client and the specs are finalized. So from the drawing and from the specifications, I am going to calculate each and every of the item quantities, and then I'm going to give him a detailed estimate. Sir, that block budget मैंने 18 लाख बोला था, but the cost is approximately now 19.5 lakhs to be very accurate. So that's the difference. Have you understood what a block estimate is now and what a detailed estimate is? ब्लॉक एस्टिमेट को आप रफ एस्टिमेट बोलो, अप्रोक्सीमेट एस्टिमेट बोलो, बजटेड कॉस्ट बोलो, कुड बी doesn't make a difference. It could be anything. Okay, clear. I hope it's clear to all. Okay, didn't understand. Okay, so I'll just explain it again. See, block estimate now, when you meet the client for the first time. Now you can't directly, you don't know whether the client is going to give you the project 100%. So you won't say, okay, sir, I'll start with the designing work right away. Because the client also needs to have an idea कि भाई कितना approximate cost होगा यार इसका. There has to be some idea, right? The client has. And whenever you are going to give an idea, you need to have you need to have some base to it. For example, just to give you an example, 1,000 रुपए का मेरा कारपेट एरिया है, या 800 स्क्वायर फीट का मेरा कारपेट एरिया है, और 1,000 स्क्वायर फीट का कारपेट एरिया है. Then, and it's a 2 BHK project, it's a economy range project, and you have to do civil and interior works. Then I am going to give you these thumb rules. So there are certain thumb rules. Ki approximate cost would be say 1,800 rupees per square feet. Don't write this down. I'm going to give you a very detailed block budget after this. But just this is an example. Ki 1800 hai, approx 1,800 rupees per square feet is the thumb rule which you have derived. Okay. 1,800 into 1,000 square feet कितना होता है? 18 लाख. तो then you can say that approximate cost सब around 18 lakhs होगा. You cannot, at that time you cannot say, sir, I'll start with the design, I'll make the design, and then I will calculate the detailed estimate and then give you कितना costing होता है. Because client बाद में बोलेगा नहीं भाई, that's not my budget, I can't go ahead with it, we need to wait for a few months. So then that's when you need a block estimate. You need a rough idea. And how do you derive those thumb rules? We'll discuss it in the next slide. But did you understand this concept that when do you give a block estimate and when do you give a detailed estimate? Block estimate कैसे निकालते हैं? What is the thumb rules? That's fine. That we'll discuss in the next session. Okay, great. Okay. Now, this, if you want, I can share this with you, the slides also. If you want, you can note it down as well. So for a economy range, this is for interiors, okay? For interiors, so civil and interiors, I'm saying, not for construction or anything. So for a 2 BHK project, your economy range project, your civil renovation plus interior, the cost is 1,600 to 1,800 rupees per square feet of your carpet area. So let's assume my client wants to has a 1,000 carpet area, 1,000 square feet ka carpet area. In that case, if I'm the approximate costing is going to be between 16 lakhs to 18 lakhs. Only interiors will be 1,000 to 1,200. For now, how do you get this? We'll discuss it after this, but just listen to me. Premium range 2,000 से 2,200, only interiors 1,300 से 1,500. Now this is your thumb rule. Okay, what I was explaining earlier, that you multiply your carpet area with whatever thumb rule you have. So in this case, 1,600 to 1,800 becomes your thumb rule. Now this, what I'm going to tell you, is applicable especially for interior projects. So see, I'm going to compare an interior project with a building construction project. Building construction ho ya bungalow construction. Let's take building construction as a very good example. In building construction, what are my so what I'm trying to explain is the thumb rules could be very accurate when it comes to a building construction project because your steps of construction are the same. मैं जब एक बिल्डिंग बांधता हूं आई एम गोइंग टू फर्स्ट excavate, I'm going to do the foundation, I'm going to do the filling, I'm going to do the block work, plaster, paint, tiling, all these. This is going to be the same for every project. So only depending on whether it is economy or a premium, which type of project, my thumb rules will depend. I can use those thumb rules kind of accurately. So a lot of times you might have seen developers or even contractors saying approximately 1500 रुपए स्क्वायर फीट में होता है the construction cost, or project cost goes to about 2500 rupees per square feet. Now they have the liberty to talk in that language. Why? Because the process is same. आप कहाँ भी इंडिया में जाओ, योर यू विल फर्स्ट हैव टू एक्सकावेट, you will then start with your PCC, then footings, and that's how the process will go. Obviously, these thumb rules change depending on how tall is your building. 14 floors के ऊपर फायर फाइटिंग के rules change होते हैं, so that's a different story. What I'm trying to explain is for interior designers that's not the case, or for renovation contractors that's not the case, or for any interior project that won't be the case क्योंकि दो पकड़ो, दो फ्लैट है. Now this flat here wants to say do civil and interior works and even furniture. इसका भी सेम है, सिविल इंटीरियर फर्नीचर का करना है. बोथ द एरियाज आर सेम ऑफ द फ्लैट, बट दिस गाय सेज कि टॉयलेट का काम हम बाद में करेंगे, अभी नहीं करेंगे. देन माय ratios, the thumb rules are going to vary a lot. Okay, so I cannot say. And again, my area is very less when I'm talking about an interior project. It is कितना होगा, 600 से 1200, 1800, this range. जब कोई डेवलपर बोलता है तब वो 25,000, 50,000 स्लैब एरिया बोलेगा, 1 लाख स्क्वायर फीट स्लैब एरिया बोलेगा. तो उसमें कॉन्स्टेंट्स, ही कैन प्ले विद दोस कॉन्स्टेंट्स, बट दैट्स नॉट अ केस विद इंटीरियर डिजाइनर्स. क्योंकि एक आइटम भी कट हो गया ना, सिविल का एक आइटम कट हो गया, योर this 1800 rupees is going to drop to 1600 rupees. That 200 rupees is close to 2 lakhs for a 1000 square feet project. So 2 lakhs for that client is quite high. So if you have to give a accurate block budget, you need thumb rules at a category level. So I'll just show this in an Excel. So this is the Excel visible? Yeah. So the here what you see, these are the thumb rules. ठीक है. ये हमने कैसे निकाले, क्या निकाले, वो बाद में हम देखेंगे. जस्ट लुक एट दिस राइट नाउ. नाउ यहाँ पे लेट्स अज्यूम आपके प्रोजेक्ट को सिविल वर्क नहीं है, या इफ देयर सम अदर देयर आर्टिफैक्ट्स नहीं है, सो देन 150 रुपीज पर स्क्वायर फीट आर गोइंग टू गेट रिड्यूस्ड. सो हियर दिस इज रुपीज पर स्क्वायर फीट. दिस इज द थंब रूल. व्हेन आई एम सेइंग 1600 टू 1800 रुपीज आपके इकोनॉमी प्रोजेक्ट को लगता है, तो उसका मतलब ये मेरा यहाँ इसका टोटल मैंने जो लिया है, व्हाट टोटल हैव टेकन ऑफ ऑल दीज हेड्स इज दिस 1741. दैट्स व्हाई आई एम सो कॉन्फिडेंट कि 1600 टू 1800 हमने लिया है. इज दिस अंडरस्टूड? और इफ यू हैव नॉट अंडरस्टूड, नो प्रॉब्लम, जस्ट लेट मी नो सो दैट आई कैन explain it in depth. Now this, how did we get this, is because we used to take services projects earlier, and I can tell you on how you can do that even if you have not done any project. Okay, I'll just explain again. So did you I hope you have understood what a block budget is, right? Can you just tell me if you have understood what a block budget is? Okay, great. Now see, I have put this is the carpet area, okay, and this is my cost per carpet area for civil work. ठीक है? This is tiling. So approximately, if I have to do the tiling work, it is going to cost me 153 rupees, 150 rupees per square feet. ठीक है? सो मेरा अगर 1000 स्क्वायर फीट का एरिया है, सो सपोज दिस इज 1000, माई स्लैब एरिया इज 1000, सो यहाँ पे मेरे को कितना कॉस्ट होगा? दिस इंटू दिस, सो 1.53 lakhs. दिस इज एन अप्रोक्सीमेट. सो माई क्लाइंट सेज कि हमको टाइलिंग करना है. तो माई क्लाइंट से स्टाइलिंग करना है और प्लम्बिंग करना है, इलेक्ट्रिफिकेशन भी करना है, फॉल सीलिंग का भी काम करना है, उसके बाद पेंटिंग का भी काम करना है. आई एम गिविंग एन एग्जाम्पल. हाँ, तो कितना कॉस्ट आएगा ये सब होगा तो? सो दिस वुड बी एन अप्रोक्सीमेट सम विच इज अराउंड 5 lakhs. So मैं उस this is not accurate, this is approximate, so I can give him a ballpark figure कि सर अराउंड 5 5 5.5 लाख तक अप्रोक्सीमेटली खर्चा आना चाहिए, और वॉट एवर आफ्टर योर एडिंग योर फीस, वॉट एवर द फाइनल कॉस्ट वुड बी. बट दिस इज अ इनिशियल आइडिया यू कैन गिव टू द क्लाइंट कि ये क्या है. तो ये स्लैब एरिया है. आई एम टेकिंग 1000 एज बिकॉज इट्स अ सिंपल एग्जाम्पल. What is this? These are my thumb rules. How did I get the thumb rules? Forget about it. At the moment, we are not concerned with it. This Excel sheet, I'll share it with you after the course. Okay, so please don't ask it for tomorrow. I'll share once the course is finished. I'll share this Excel sheet with you. So, is this understood? ये thumb rule क्या है? Yes. So in civil, yes, right. So in civil work, I'll tell you which activities are there. We have braking, we have masonry, plaster, gypsum. So all these are included. So what I purposely I didn't take civil work here, so that there's no confusion. Uh, but did you understand this now of the thumb rules? I'll tell you how we got this, huh? Or the thumb rules also how we got this. But ये कहाँ काम में आएंगे? Have you understood that? That where you will be using that thumb rules? Okay. Others, if you could just let me know so that I have an idea, or else I'll keep on talking. Great. Okay. So now this Excel sheet, I will share it with you later on. Now, um, so these thumb rules, if we have a lot of set of thumb rules because we used to take estimation projects, right? So when you do a lot of estimation, um, you need to do reverse engineering, reverse work. So what you'll do is ki, for example, now this particular the 2 BHK flat which we would be working on is around 890 square feet. So we will actually take up a project. We will calculate कि हाँ tiling कितना है. We will consider that okay, I'm going to use a 60 by 60 tile where the base rate is maybe 40 rupees. So total tile का cost comes out to be whatever 1.3 lakh rupees. So I got this from there. Now what I did was this I divided by this. So 1,36,000 divided by 891 becomes my thumb rule. Now this is for one project. Once I do one more project, I will reverse calculate कि costing कितना है टाइल का. 1.5 लाख हो गया. एरिया कितना है? 900 स्क्वायर फीट. सो मतलब 160 रुपीज पर स्क्वायर फीट यहाँ का अप्रोक्सीमेट मेरा थंब रूल है. Now, this will only be applicable for a 2 BHK. It won't be applicable for a 3 BHK, 4 BHK. The thumb rules will be different for that. These thumb rules will be again only for a economy project and not a premium project. Premium project may it's going to, as we discussed, it's going to be higher. Uh, Sorry. Yeah. So if it's a premium project, the cost would be 2000 to 2200 rupees per square feet. उसमें भी what do I mean by premium project is basically here probably I'm using a 60 by 60 tile. Here I'm using probably 120 by 240 tile. Here I have plastic emulsion paint on walls. Here I have a luster paint on the walls. On ceiling maybe I have, oh, sorry, I'm talking it otherwise. Here I have plastic emulsion paint. Here I have luster paint. So depending on that, my price range is going to change. We will discuss it for an economy range project. And later on, if time permits, I'll also show how you can change it in the project which will be working, how you can do the changes in that. Uh, Yeah, so city, the pricing will not change. So yeah, right. So these thumb rules, what I'll do is I'll also give you the detailed estimate for this particular thing. Pricing will always remain in a range. The pricing which changes would be more for labor. So labor pricing definitely changes a lot from city to city. Material, I wouldn't say it changes that, but again, I'll give you a system on how you calculate the block budget. So we'll be calculating a detailed estimate as we go forward, and then you do reverse engineering. So see, I tell this to everyone wherever you're working, even if you're doing a job, if you're taking contracts, you're doing your own project, do a detailed estimate and get your own thumb rules for every project. Trust me, 5 years down the line, if you have done maybe six, seven, eight projects in that duration, if you have those many thumb rules with you, it's going to be a gold mine for you. So we'll obviously give you a few thumb rules, but you need to know how I've derived those thumb rules. That is important. So this is about block estimate. I hope the idea is quite clear. Coming to a detailed estimate. So detailed estimate is, as I mentioned, you derive it from the specifications and drawings. You derive quantities from drawings and multiply it with the rate, which is derived from your specification. So that is your final cost, and that would be the detailed estimate. Design price. I didn't understand actually. Please provide estimates after 2021. I didn't get that. Does block estimate include design charges or only material and estimate? No, no, no. So design cost would be, you can tell the client separately. Block budget would be just the execution part of it, of what is the client is going to incur. So that would be there in your, but you can always mention that approximately the cost would for the consultancy charges would be this much. So I'll suggest you is, uh, please put your questions in the WhatsApp group. Any questions, okay? Any type of questions, put it in the WhatsApp group. So this 1 hour, we will totally concentrate on making sure that concepts are clear and that we don't waste a time on different things. And I would really like that you put this. We'll get Mr. Indrajit Malve, who has a lot of experience. So it would be amazing to get his feedback on that as well. So just put this in the WhatsApp group, okay? So that later on I can just punch it and he would be answering it. Okay? If you don't understand anything, let me know here. Okay. But I guess have answered you, but any more questions you can put it. These questions also feel free to put it in the WhatsApp group. Okay, now here, this format is going to be universal. So the BOQ which I showed you, we had this format. Uh, do you guys know what a work item is? Any idea of what a work item is? Okay, okay. I'll tell her to change that. Right. Activity is one word. Anybody else? Description of work is also right. Very right. So work item is, you can say, your, in very simple terms, your specifications also. So in this case, this becomes my work item. Okay. Now, so I'll just tell you one thing. So, those who are interior designers, they have to define the work items. Those who are contractors, they don't have to define the work items. They will get it from the architect or the consultant or whoever it is. Or in some cases, um, if it's in tier 2 or tier 3 cities, might be the contractor is the one who is putting the specifications or putting the work items. Now, before we started taking up classes, I had attended nearly around 8 to 9 classes, okay, just to learn, just to get to know what people exactly teach and what doubts are asked. And because, see, me being an civil engineer and being into estimation, some of the things I feel that everybody knows this, but most of the times, I've observed interior designers, uh, when it comes, they'll be excellent when it comes to execution and design. But in terms of, I've seen a lot of interior designers not being good when it comes to estimation. So that's why I'm just explaining this. So in one of the classes, this one lady told that whatever the work item as an interior designer you're defining, uh, keep it as ambiguous as possible. Like, don't give more details about it. But I personally see, I feel that that's not a right thing to say, because you have to make sure that whatever you're defining, okay, whatever you're, what do I mean by defining a work item is basically, uh, let's assume I have to do a block work. Now, what type of block am I using? Am I using AAC block, clay bricks? Am I using flash? Maybe AAC. So, what is the thickness? Whether it is 6 inches, whether it is a sandwich block, whether it is 8 inches, 4 inches. So, maybe it is 6 inches. Okay, now, uh, whether I'm going to do it in adhesive or whether I'm going to use cement sand for the mortar. Maybe I'm going to use cement sand. What is the cement sand ratio? 1 is to 4, 1 is to 5, 1 is to 6. So all these things combined will become my work item. So if I have to just put it in words, it will be providing and fixing, or providing and laying 150 thick AC blocks in cement mortar ratio of 1 is to 6, in CM 1 is to 6. And if there are any more details to that. So this is what I'm saying is defining your work item. So see, and obviously this will come with experience. For those who are very new, शुरुआत में you can keep it basic. That's fine. We are again giving you a library access for a month, so you can just copy that as well if you want. Uh, but it always make sure that define it as much as possible, because you are the expert. कल जाके क्लाइंट बोलेगा कि नो नो, आई वॉज आस्किंग यू फॉर दिस पर्टिकुलर टाइल. लेट्स अज्यूम फॉर टाइल, आई ऑलवेज से दैट पुट योर बेस रेट ऑफ टाइल और बेसिक रेट ऑफ टाइल, जो टाइल आप चूज करने वाले हो. सो ऑलवेज ऑलवेज इन योर कोटेशन यू शुड हैव ₹40. द टाइल कॉस्ट इज ₹40. सो कहाँ पे भी आप दुनिया में जाओगे ना, टाइल का रेट दे विल मेंशन. सो आई जस्ट सी इफ आई हैव एनी टाइल रेट हियर. So anywhere you go, you have to make sure that the tile rate is mentioned. हाँ, ओके. सो ये अभी देखो, सिरेमिक टाइल्स टू फ्लोर अलाउ पीसी रेट of ₹60 per square meter. So this is the PC is prime cost. प्राइम कॉस्ट ये बोलने की जरूरत नहीं, यू कैन से बेसिक रेट ऑफ टाइल भी आप बोलोगे तो भी चलेगा, क्योंकि कल जाके टाइल ऐसी चीज है ना, यू गेट इट फॉर 40 रुपीज, यू गेट इट फॉर 100 रुपीज, यू गेट इट फॉर 200 रुपीज. सो क्लाइंट विल से भाई मैंने तो तुमको बोला था 60 रुपए का टाइल, तुम क्यों अभी 40 रुपए का बोल रहे हो? नो, that's not how you that's why I'm saying you should define your work item perfectly. Second thing is, even for subcontractors, आपका एक बार BOQ बन गया और BOQ is made, you're giving it to your subcon for filling in the quotation, filling in the rates. देन ऑल्सो इफ इट्स वेल डिफाइंड, कल जाके वो नहीं बोलेगा नहीं मैडम ये इसमें ये यही आएगा, ये मटेरियल आएगा, तो वो आपने तब बताया नहीं था. सो बिकॉज वी आर द एक्सपर्ट्स, इट इज गोइंग टू सेफगार्ड अस इफ इट इज वेल डिफाइंड. सो दैट्स वाई ऑलवेज मेक श्योर कि वर्क आइटम है ना, जितना आप उसको अच्छा डिफाइन कर सकते हो, मेक श्योर इट इज डन दैट वे. Okay, moving on to, okay, so this is just a basic slide of what the prerequisites of estimate is. Before going to this slide, अभी तक जो हमने डिस्कस किया, is it clear? Uh, all these things, block estimate क्या है and detailed estimate क्या है, difference between block estimate and हाँ, okay, great, thank you. So prerequisites of an estimate. So whenever you will be making an estimate, so this again from an interiors perspective. First, you need to know what your set of work items with detailed specifications are. Okay. So that you'll understand after your discussions with your client. The first is work item and your specs, because this is going to help you get the rate. If you don't know the work item, if you don't know your specifications, rate कहाँ से लाने वाले हो? So this is first. Second is rate of work related to selected specs. So you, once the work item is defined, you'll find the rate for it. And third is, for doing the drawings, you need to know first all room dimensions. So this is basic, okay? Everybody does this. Floor to door, window, lintel height. I will say everybody does this as well. But C and D, a lot of time people might forget, which is floor to slab bottom. जो फ्लोर से टाइल से स्लैब के बॉटम तक का हाइट है. एंड सेकंड, फ्लोर टू बीम बॉटम, सो फ्लोर से बीम के बॉटम का, बिकॉज अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स द बीम बॉटम could be different. So those who are civil engineers know that there are different depths of beams everywhere. So floor to slab might be the same everywhere, but floor to, or the difference won't be much, but floor to beam could be, there could be a quite a lot of difference. So, if you want, take a photo, or I can give you the slide as well. Okay, now moving ahead. Now, before going here, just a few things I want to tell you is we'll be using two tech tools. Yeah, so slide I will give only after all deliverables will be given after the session. Okay, once next week, after the next day after the last day, I will give you all the block budget and the this slides, everything would be given. Recording we'll give you tomorrow. Yeah, so before going here, so we'll be using two tech tools. One is explain everything. So if required, I might go in that explain everything and explain you things. So we have, might be there are a few things which I'll have to go there and tell you. And second is Sidebook. So Sidebook is a tool for, again, interior designers, architects, and contractors, where you can do the estimation. So I'll be explaining it to you here. The access for this also will be given to you for Sidebook. So I'd suggest you can, all of you can just download the app or log into it later on. Now, before we go ahead, before we start discussing the materials, the one of the most important aspects, uh, which is not given that much importance, is a WBS. Anybody knows what a WBS is? Or if you don't know, so some things are free within Sidebook, some things would be paid. You would be given access for 1 month for free. Perfect. So that's a work breakdown structure. So work breakdown structure is nothing but just the way you are putting up your total costing, or because this is estimation, I'm saying costing, but if it's um, scheduling, then it would be again a different aspect. But how do you put up your estimate? So for just to give you an example, let's assume I'm doing a building project and I need to check the, say, painting quantity on the seventh floor. Then if the format or my breakup of my project is not perfect, then it's going to be terrible for me or for anybody else to find out that particular quantity. So WBS is going to help make sure that any quantity, any rate, any specification, you can easily find that. So even if maybe you have drafted the BOQ and there is someone else, the client wants to look at a certain thing, it should be very, very simple for him to view it. Probably on a phone call, you should be able to explain it that, sir, probably civil work का cost कितना है, तो total cost है approximately 4.5 लाख, 4 लाख रुपए cost है उसका. So this here is a WBS. So यहाँ पे अभी मैं फर्नीचर में गया, फर्नीचर में मैं I have this living room, bedroom 2. So this breakup is my work breakdown structure. Excuse me. Okay. So we'll start with the main aspect now before going to masonry. So masonry is the first main part. I'll just explain you what the project is, what the drawing is. Okay, this is a 2 BHK project. You just ignore this tracings for now, okay? 2 BHK, this is a 2 BHK project. The area is same, 891 square feet, total area of the project. We have an entrance here, okay? This is a living room on the right hand side, and then you have a terrace, okay? Attached terrace here. So यहाँ से we have a kitchen, and this is a newly added wall. Just for an example, so that I can take masonry and plaster as an example. So somebody asks civil work में क्या है? So this is your one item: masonry, um, breaking, disposal, and you have the plaster and gypsum for this. Now, I have one toilet which is here, which is like a common toilet, and then I have one bedroom with a attached balcony here. If I go out, this is a second master bedroom with a attached toilet. So this is the overall plan I have. Okay. I hope the plan is clear to everyone. Simple. This is accessible. Okay. You guys can also access it from today itself. Just log in, just download. कहाँ क्या देखना है? I'll send you a video later on, and you can look at that. Look at the drawings and everything. Now, my first item is breaking of existing floor and wall tiles. So we are assuming it's a renovation job which we have to do. So existing tiles will be breaking, we'll dispose it, and we'll be putting new tiles. So the cost for that is 50 rupees per square feet. Okay. So if you remember the detailed estimate format, I have the work items here. It is written description, doesn't matter, but the format is same. कुछ भी लिखने दो यहाँ पे, description, work item, anything else if they want, particulars, it doesn't matter. So this is my work items. All these here, all my work items. Then I have the quantities, I have the unit, I have the rate, profit markup. Now this, because we are using a tech tool, they have this, and then you have the final cost here. Now breaking of existing floor wall tiles का cost क्या है? ये रेट है, उसका रेट क्या है? सॉरी, 50 रुपीज पर स्क्वायर फीट. Quantity में you click here, okay? I'm just teaching you on how you access the project drawings. So whatever quantity you want to look at, you'll Click there, and whatever is the blue colored portion, okay, that particular flooring we have to break because we want to put new flooring. That's why. Second is you have wall tiling. So यहाँ पे wall tiling है. Wall tiling कैसे आप calculate? Anybody know? I just want to know how, does any does is there anybody who doesn't know how to calculate wall tiling or floor tiling? Yeah, yeah, right, Dado. But is there anybody who does don't? Okay, fine. Is there anybody else who doesn't know how to calculate wall tiling? Okay, fine, fine, fine. Great, great. I'll explain it in depth then. See, what I'll do is, so flooring, you know, right? How to calculate. I am just not in the tool. I am just saying in general, in AutoCAD also, if you don't know, then tell me. Yes, flooring is area. I have to know what is my length, okay, and what is my width. If I know these two measurements, I know what my area is going to be. ये मेरा flooring हो गया. इस टूल में आप जैसे whatever you work on CAD, same way you're going to work here. I am just using area command. You can use polyline command in CAD. Polyline और Excel जो भी है. और यहाँ पे ये मैं calculate करूंगा. This everybody I hope knows polyline command. PL enter LI you get the area and that. अगर मुझे फ्लोरिंग निकालना है तो मैं फर्स्ट थिंग आई नीड इज आई नीड व्हाट इज माय विड्थ एंड सेकंड व्हाट इज माय लेंथ. ठीक है. सो 15 फुट बाय 10 फुट, 16 फुट बाय 10 फुट, अराउंड 160 स्क्वायर फीट इज द एरिया. दिस इज माय फ्लोरिंग. वॉल टाइलिंग मेरा आई हाउ डू आई कैलकुलेट वॉल टाइल? फर्स्ट, नाउ आई डोंट हैव द सेक्शन आल्सो. सो फर्स्ट आई एम गोइंग टू टेक द पेरीमीटर ऑफ दिस टॉयलेट. फर्स्ट थिंग. ठीक है. यहाँ पे मैंने 50.91 इज द टोटल पेरीमीटर. सो दिस इज येल्लो. येल्लो कहाँ पे है? ये दो जगह येल्लो है. ठीक है. हियर एंड हियर. सो दिस पेरीमीटर आई हैव टेकन. नाउ दैट पेरीमीटर इनटू माय हाइट. व्हाट इज माय हाइट? माय हाइट इज 7 फीट. Why is it 7 feet? Because generally फॉल्स सीलिंग आता है मेरा वहां पे एट 7 फीट और डोर की हाइट 7 फीट रहती है. इसीलिए मैंने दैट्स व्हाई आई हैव कंसिडर्ड दैट हाइट. ओके, इट कुड बी 8 फीट और वट एवर डिपेंडिंग ऑन योर प्रोजेक्ट वेर यू आर वर्किंग, डिपेंडिंग ऑन दैट. 7.2 भी हो सकती है. सो माई पेरीमीटर इंटू माई हाइट, आई एम गोइंग टू गेट द एरिया ऑफ माई वॉल टाइल्स. ओके. बट द थिंग इज यहाँ पे एक डोर है. यहाँ पे एक डोर है एंड देर इज वन वेंटिलेटर हियर. सो आई हैव टू डिडक्ट दोज एरियाज एज वेल. सो दिस रेड कलर marking, which is this 2.62 multiplied by 7 is -18. I have to do it minus, right? -18. तो ये मैंने दोनों क्वांटिटीज यहां से माइनस किए. वॉल टाइल के लिए मैंने पहले लेंथ, आई टुक द पेरीमीटर, आई मल्टीप्लाइड इट बाय द हाइट. सो आई गॉट द टोटल एरिया ऑफ माय वॉल टाइल्स. नाउ आई हैव अ वेंटिलेटर एंड आई हैव अ डोर, सो आई नीड टू डिडक्ट इट. Did you get an approximate idea on how to calculate a wall tile? If not, no problem. There is tomorrow in depth we are going to discuss wall tiles. So that time I will explain it again. Yes. Others? Wastage percentage, we will discuss it while calculating tiling. Right now, for an item like breaking, no need of calculating wastage percentage. But while we are discussing tile, so tile we are going to take it tomorrow. So we'll discuss wastage percentage in depth at that time. Okay. So this is my one item. So iska cost I have 53,000. Okay. So this is my first item. So the total cost is 53,000. Second item is disposal of debris. So I have done the all cutting and all and breaking. Now I need to remove that from the site. So that disposal of debris, this is wrong. This is 173 nahi hona chahiye. There's something wrong here. It has to be in numbers, in trips. So this is 2. Here we have mentioned number of trips as per actual if exceeds more than 2. I will explain what I mean by this. But दो number of trip हमको लगने वाली है. That is around going to cost me around 2000 rupees per trip. Now, what do I mean by this statement? That number of trips as per actual if exceeds more than 2 is, let's assume now I have no idea कि braking में कितना, how many trips I'm going to require. You cannot, it is very difficult to calculate something like that. So if tomorrow you require maybe 3 trips or 4 trips, then it's your loss, right? So here you are telling the client, you are mentioning to the client कि whatever is the at actual, you will have to pay that. But I am considering, I am thinking that there will be 2 trips. But it shouldn't be like 2 trips and बाद में 10 trip हो गया. So that would be very wrong. So that's what I mean by number of trips as per actual if it exceeds by 2. Yeah, shifting of debris. Disposal of debris is shifting of debris, right? Okay, so this I hope you understood. If not, let me know in on WhatsApp. Okay, I'll explain it later again. Now coming to the item which is block work. Now, guys, just let me know if you want to continue right now. We'll finish with one item which is block work, or should we take it tomorrow? I don't want to. I don't want to like. It shouldn't burden you as well in a single day. Probably we can connect 10 minutes earlier if required. Each masonry should take around 10 minutes, not more than that. Great. So now, um, great. Thank you. Oh, 1 minute. Yeah. So, unit of measurement. So, masonry or blockwork is our first item. Unit of measurement is square feet. Square meters also you can use. Contract type is material plus labor or labor only. What do I mean by contract type is how I'm going to execute it. I'm going to get the material, I'm going to get the labor, and I'm going to execute it. That's the contract type. Now recommended is 6-inch AAC block with block jointing adhesive. Now the reason why AAC block is recommended, especially for interior projects I'm talking, is because AAC blocks are steam cured. Curing की इतनी जरूरत नहीं पड़ती है. If you go for clay bricks, you have to make sure that you need to cure it. I hope everybody knows what curing is. Okay. If not, let me know. Curing is, आपको, you'll have to put water to that. And why? Yes, right. And why I'm mentioning block jointing adhesive, because a lot of times AAC blocks can be you might if you're using AAC block with cement sand mortar, so AAC blocks are actually preferably should be fixed with adhesive. But lot of times to save on money, to save on cost, subcontractor or even any normal contractor will use cement sand and not adhesive. So if you're using AAC block with cement sand, again same, you have to do curing. So if you are going to go for clay brick or if you're going to go for AAC with cement sand, then आपको 7 दिन तो minimum उसको cure करना पड़ेगा. If you're going for this, no need to cure it. You can directly, the next day, you can go for a gypsum. So then the time, because all the concern is always going to be time for any interior project, ki how fast you are going to deliver that project. So that's why it would be always preferable that you go for AC blocks. Second reason for AC blocks is, so whenever you're executing block work, So block work has to be over a beam. Okay. If in case interior project है, पहले से the everything, your frame is done, everything is worked out, you don't know whether there is going to be a beam or not. So AC blocks, the weight is also less. So this, the dead load is also reduced. If you're using clay brick, it is more load. For AC blocks, comparatively, it is lesser load. So that is one more additional reason why you should go for AC blocks. Okay. Now here, just one thing before I go to the rate part of it. In the sidebook library, you have different categories, okay, for rate analysis. Civil hai, interior hai, furniture hai. In masonry, you can just check this out on what all different types of analysis are there. So, for example, you have clay brick or you have AC block, like we discussed. Then, what is your thickness? What is your before I explain this, how many of you don't know what rate analysis is? Or give me yes or no. If you know rate analysis, say yes. If you know, say no. Okay. Is there anybody who doesn't know what rate analysis is? Okay. Fine. Uh, okay. Fine. So rate analysis is nothing but, see, this is your so this, look at this item, 3 number ka item. So this is your work item. That means this is your item quantity. You Now this particular item like AC block, to execute it on site, you are going to require material, labor, machinery, probably a few other things which will be overheads. You're going to require these 3 things, basic things. And first two will be like, maybe you might not require machinery, but material and labor you're going to require. Material, you'll require what? AC block and adhesive. Maybe in some cases, mesh, if you have to put it within the blocks. In India, that is not practice, but if it's a very good consultant, huge project, yes, then mesh also will be there. And then you have the labor component. Labor component, may you have mason, you have helper. Uh, so now I cannot tell my client that approximately AAC block cost is going to be 5,000 rupees. Cement or adhesive I'll require 2,000 rupees. And then labor, two mason and one helper, one mason and two helpers, that will be again 3,000 rupees. So total it, if I tell him this, that he is going to be like, buy, because there will be a lot of items and then all items have a lot of materials, right? So that's why deriving to derive at a final item rate, you need to do an analysis. For example, how many, so you need to know what is 100 square feet. For 100 square feet, how many blocks am I going to require? Okay, 12.5. How many cement bags? Okay, 1.2 cement bags. How many masons? Okay, one mason to complete 100 square feet. How many helpers? Two helpers. Okay, what is the final cost of this? Okay, it is coming out to be maybe 1,000 rupees or 10,000 rupees, whatever. Then you divide that by 100 because you are calculating it for 100 square feet. So you get per square feet cost. So this 96.89 is your per square feet cost. So this, how did I get this rate? Is from rate analysis. Okay. Now this is my item quantity. If I go in my rate analysis, I am going to get the material quantity as well. So here in 96.89, if I click here, I have the bifurcation of everything for 100 square feet. यहाँ पे 100 है. I am going to require 61 number of blocks. I am going to require 1.34 bags of adhesive. And labor is on an item rate basis. So this is my analysis of that item rate. Is it clear now? of what rate analysis is? If not, we'll discuss it again later on, or we'll take a session tomorrow, extra session 5-10 minutes earlier. Okay. Do you guys know the difference between an I did you understand while explaining I mentioned these terms, item quantity, material quantity. Did you understand these two terms? Or yes or no will also do. Item quantity क्या है and material quantity क्या है? What is the difference between both the terms? Great. Okay, I'll just explain it again. So this is my item quantity. वर्क आइटम की जो मेरी क्वांटिटी है दैट इज माय आइटम क्वांटिटी. नाउ आई कैनॉट कॉल माय सप्लायर एंड टेल दैट 62 स्क्वायर फीट का ब्लॉक वर्क है. आई नीड टू टेल हिम, बॉस आई एम गोइंग टू रिक्वायर 100 नंबर ऑफ ब्लॉक्स. व्हाट इज योर रेट? Or I don't expect him to do the calculation for me. So I need to have one set of item quantities which are in my quotation, and then which is my work item quantity. Item quantity मतलब work item की quantity. And then I have my material quantities, which here if you look at sidebook, or I'll take a plaster example. If I click here, I have my material quantities: cement 6 bags, crushed sand 30 CFT, chicken mesh half roll. So you have this becomes your material quantity. And item quantity is what? This 373 square feet. I hope you understood the difference. Now, for AC block, you see, I'm not going to go in depth of the rate analysis, because it's there available for you. So I expect you to have a look at it later on. So just any rate analysis you want to refer to, just click on the dollar sign and you will find the rate analysis for that. Lots of, so I was showing that only in you. Go to the Sidebook library, lots of rate analysis, lots of costings you'll find. Explore it. It's amazing. There's a lot of things in that. Take advantage of it. Um, okay, now going to the item quantity of it. Yeah, they are updated on a regular basis. So now this is a simple item, right? One wall only I had considered. So that one length I have taken. Again, take distance in CAD, and 9.51 is the height. So what is my height? My height is my slab to slab height minus what is my slab thickness. So that we have considered here. Okay, so that is 9.51. So a little bit here and there doesn't make a difference. You consider it 10, that's also going to be fine. But better if you're accurate with your quantities, right? So 9.51 we have taken. 9.51 क्यों लिया है? तो again, I'll not go in depth right now. But if you want, I can just tell you कि 150 mm का स्लैब पकड़ा है. 150 mm is 6 inches. 6 inches is half feet. So 10 feet में से आधा feet निकाला है. So 9.5 है. But again, 1 inch is 25.4 mm. So then for that, 0.4 को 9.51 कर दिया है. Don't go into that depth right now. It's not required. आपको पता है what is your slab to slab bottom height? That's going to do. So this is your AC block masonry. Have you guys heard of long wall, short wall method? And just asking, okay, we're going to take it tomorrow. We'll take that tomorrow. But long wall, short wall method and center line method, have you heard about it? Okay, I guess all the civil engineers know it, and probably interior designers might not know it, which is very fine. Um, Not actually. So, I'll tell you tomorrow in depth on how what is long wall, short wall, and what is center line, and when they were practiced actually. Uh, we still do practice it actually, but it is not. You can't say it is foolproof. Um, but I hope you guys, whatever we discussed today, was understood. If there are any doubts, please put it in the WhatsApp group, and we'll again meet tomorrow at the same time, which is 8 p.m. Okay. Uh, Also, let me know if my speed is okay, if I need to go slower, if I need to go faster, um, if there's anything you want me to work on. I'm really sorry, but 7:30. If everybody says yes to this, okay, fine. We can do that. We'll continue it with okay. So a lot of people. Okay, okay, fine. So there's some people are not. It's not possible for them. So we'll keep it at 8 o'clock. Don't worry. You will still get the recording. So even if you miss on some parts, that's okay. You can view the recording and put the cost. Put the question on the WhatsApp. Yeah, yeah, Sidebook is available on laptop and mobile. It's not available on iOS. So iPhone users will have to go to Safari and log in. Like put My Sidebook and then no, no, both on mobile and this. And our project is here. So there's a lot of sample projects are there, but you can I'll tell you which our project is. So our project is this sample for renovation and interior projects of a 2 BHK apartment. One, two, three, four, five, sixth project. So this is our project. And just click on it and click on the detailed estimate part. And then you can view this. And when you go to edit, and then you have all the quantities and all the rates and everything. So how to log in, I'll send you a video. So Sidebook comes in different modules. So I'll send the details. It starts from 550 rupees to 8,000 rupees. Different modules are there. Yeah, yeah, you can open it with Google Chrome as well. So what I'll suggest is check out the project and check out the Sidebook library. So Sidebook library, amazing things. So for example, plumbing देखना है, plumbing internal toilet का cost देखना है. So you have the inside toilet and then you have all the items which are go into a toilet and you have the reference pricing to it. So above counter basin 4,000 का कितना है, कौन सा है, 2,500 का कौन सा है. So all that you'll get it in that. So you explore it, you have it. So I'm not going to talk much about it. So I'll send you a video. Okay, if there's anything still you're not able to do, just put it on WhatsApp. I'll guide you, or probably Sakshi will also guide you. Okay, so we'll end it here. I'd like to know, spend tomorrow, but would prefer to finish at 9 as I have sure, sure, I'll do that. I'll do that. In case we don't finish na, uh, Ankit ji, then I'll send you the recording so you'll not miss out on anything. No, rates are not changed according to location. It is, but the reference pricing is mentioned, so you can check key of at in your location what that rate will be. Yeah, yeah, sure. I'll send the link for Sidebook. Okay, do let me know on how the session was on the WhatsApp group. That will help me as well. If there's any comments you didn't like anything, I was going too slow or too fast, do let me know that as well. Okay. Thank you. We'll end it here, and we'll meet tomorrow at 8 p.m. sharp. Okay. Thank you.